First of all, thank you for all coming. Tonight is a special night, very special. It marks a special occasion as we pay tribute to a very special man in the Chicago music community. Steve Robinson is honorific abilitudinatadipus. I use this word in keeping with the evening's Shakespearean sensibilities. And honorific abilitudinatadipus, I practiced it, is the longest word in the English language and means that a person is in the state of being able to receive honors. Comes from Love's Labour's Lost, Shakespeare. So before we make the dedication of the Associate Concertmaster Chair, named after Steve Robinson, I think there are some very important aspects of Steve's career that I would like to share with you. Steve Robinson, Executive Vice President and General Manager of WFMT radio station for the last 16 years, announced his retirement from this revered institution in August of this year, closing that chapter of his career on September 30th. When we examine his career, we see a highly creative, innovative, and perspicacious individual who led an important classical music radio station, elevating it to become the jewel in the crown of radio stations nationwide. Steve created multifarious projects. Highlights that we immediately think of would be Exploring Music with Bill McLaughlin. Every day you hear that, and now enjoys 400,000 listeners weekly. It's been going for 13 years. He brought to an international audience of 4 million a live broadcast of Princess Magogo, the first South African opera in the Zulu language. Also in the international vein, Steve most recently created a cultural exchange with China, whereby 6 major U.S. orchestras, such as the New York Philharmonic and the Dallas Symphony, were broadcast for the first time ever in China, and the Shanghai Symphony enjoyed its first ever broadcast here in the West. Another international highlight was the live broadcast of Mozart's 250th anniversary of his birth in 2006, with the Vienna Philharmonic, no less, conducted by Riccardo Muti. We all know him. And it was from, of course, the city of Mozart's birth, Salzburg. The intermission of this concert was timed to coincide with the simultaneous chiming of every single bell, church bell, in Salzburg. And it filled the airways for approximately 20 minutes. And as Steve has told me, that I think people remember the bells almost more than the music, right? Yeah. I mean, that must be something to have the whole. It would have been marvelous if he could have been alive and experienced that. But what an amazing thing. Steve's humanitarian work has included the coordination of fundraising efforts with Chicago's media organizations in the aftermath of natural disasters such as the 2004 tsunami and the 2010 Haiti earthquake. One of Steve's innovations, which I have enjoyed a personal experience with, is the show Introductions, which is designed for exceptionally talented and accomplished pre-collegiate young musicians. On a number of occasions, I have observed the palpable excitement in the eyes of young musicians who are about to perform live on the air. You know, the red light goes on, right? You understand what I'm talking about. So it's a big deal, and they are really excited. So this kind of opportunity stimulates enormous progress in the young musician as they prepare for such broadcast. Amelia Piscatelli, who you heard earlier, she has just recently been selected to perform her own live broadcast on that very show. Listen in December 5th, I think it is. 3rd, thank you. December 3rd, Saturday morning. So definitely listen in. Let's see. Camerata Chicago, still a fledgling organization at 13 years old, is enjoying a burgeoning reputation and prominence due to the support of WFMT at the behest of Steve Robinson, arranging for the station's Grammy Award-winning engineers to record our concerts. Tonight's no exception. It's being recorded, and we're thrilled. Subsequently, these recordings are used for the show called Music in Chicago, hosted by Lisa Flynn. So I'm very grateful to her as well. Steve collaborated with us to create the compact disc entitled Beethoven Symphonies, live from WFMT, featuring broadcasts of the 5th and 7th symphonies taken from that show with host Kerry Frumpkin. Please, you can have a copy complimentary on the way out. A gleaming facet of the WFMT jewel is their initiative to record and broadcast the multifarious concerts taking place in Chicago and further afield. Under Steve's leadership, the number of concerts included in this initiative expanded to well over 200 concerts annually, more than all the other US radio stations combined. So Steve, thank you very, very much. Now at this point I would like to introduce you to Mary Mehaffey, a board member. And Steve, if you'd like to step up, we will now make the dedication of the Associate Concertmaster Chair, but thank you so much for everything you have done for me. Absolutely. You want to talk?
Yes. I knew that Drostan was going to honor me in some way, but it wasn't until I walked in and saw the program that I realized that there was a chair that would be named after me, and I'm really overwhelmed by that. I've received some good words from people in the last month or two, and I'm very grateful for that. But to have this honor is something totally unexpected. I had no idea it was coming. Now, the only thing now standing between you and some more wonderful music is me, and I promised Drostan I wouldn't speak for any more than an hour, and I'm going to honor that promise. But I just wanted to let you in on a little secret, and please don't tell anybody. But the licenses that every radio and TV station in this country operates under is actually on loan to them by the government. We don't own the license, and so the license can be revoked. And the license is given to us with a bargain, and that is that we operate it in the public interest. And it can be revoked. Now, the fact that you don't need the fingers of all of one hand to count the number of times that's happened says something about how we define the public interest. And every commercial and nonprofit station defines it in their own way. And I define it by some of the things you mentioned. The international broadcasting from Israel. We were in Jerusalem for a live broadcast from the Jerusalem International Chamber Music Festival, or the broadcast from Durban, which was live. It was actually the first indigenous South African opera, and the first opera with a libretto in Zulu, as Drostan mentioned, and live in the United States, all over Europe and the United States. The Mozart broadcast, that was actually timed at 9 p.m. because that's when Mozart's father said he was born, so it was timed to ring on the exact moment of his 250th birthday, and we broadcast those bells all back to the United States. And so that type of programming, to me, is what defines public interest. To program things which are a little challenging, like the time we broadcast live the complete string quartets of Elliott Carter. Those of you who know Elliott Carter's music, it's beautiful music, but it's difficult music, and we did it live. No other station would think about it. The other thing that we do, and Drostan mentioned it, are these live broadcasts from around the city. We broadcast more from our studio and from around Chicago than any station that I've ever known. Of course, we do the Lyric and the CSO and Ravinia, but we also broadcast smaller organizations. We broadcast local musicians such as Jana Resnick, who is sitting right there, a wonderful pianist, or Ruti Abramovitz, who is sitting in the back, who's been on WFMT, and hundreds of musicians who play locally here. And we wouldn't be able to do that, we wouldn't do it if the quality of the music in Chicago isn't as great as it is. And there's no better personification of that than the Camerata Chicago. And the concert you just heard is as fine a concert that you will hear anywhere, not in Chicago, but anywhere in the world. It's a fabulous ensemble, and I would like to just thank you for all this. So to have, my passion is broadcasting locally, and to have a chair dedicated to me by one of these ensembles, this ensemble, is something which I will cherish for the rest of my life, and I thank you for that very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have one last thing to say. Last month, Steve turned 70. I'd like you to help me with something here, okay? All right, hey, you like to conduct, right?
Yeah.
He's conducted all the world's orchestras from his armchair. He gets.
I stand up when I do it.
You stand up. That's good. He stands up. All right, so let's go. Huh?